So I've calibrated the gyro, we're all ready to go as I showed you how to do that. It's the LEDs are, you can see them no problem at all outside, they're pretty good, but it's much easier for me to show you in the studio. So there we go. So we've got 10 satellites already. I'm in a wide open space, as you can clearly see. I usually fly up on the ridges, but it is so windy, as you can see with the trees, and also the clouds are going to whip past us as well. So that's why I'm down in the little valley bit, and we're just going to have a smooth play around with this. Well, that's how we think we're going to anyway. To arm the motors, just quickly press this button here, and basically they just sit there ticking over. Most quads shut down after a few seconds. I've left this quite a few seconds before in it, and it doesn't seem to do it. The only way you can stop the motor is just pull the throttle right off, and then it will stop them again. So if you try and do any of the other maneuvers, as soon as you do that, it will take off, because it's been given an instruction basically as far as it's concerned. That's the way I found it anyway. Perhaps they'll change it. I'm going to do it with the GPS on, and also with the headless mode off at the moment, so we'll give a play with everything. Auto takeoff, auto landing, simply press that. Like I say, it's pretty windy, so it's going to have trouble on the altitude hold. There we go. With the wind, because it's going past it, you know, the altimeter, and it's pushing the pressure up and down. That's the way I view it anyway. If anyone knows any better, that's fine. But basically, in a strong wind, it will pulse around a wee bit. But that's all it is. But it's really not that bad. And off we go. There's no high or low rates with these, so it's quite nice, because you just get constant power on it. Let's start the video. There we go. So you hold down the video off camera button here, and then actually underneath the quad there's a, let me just bring it in so you can see it. There's a little flashing LED. It's a bit of a job to see. Oops, I don't think I'm going to get it, to be honest. No, it's pulsing so much there. I can just about see it myself. I don't suppose that'll fit. There we go. You can see that little red LED flashing away. That means that it's recording. I hold that down. That's it. You also get the icon up here as well. And now that's gone. Yeah, so no flashing LED now. Press the button. Get the beep beep, and off we go. Like I say, you got the flashing icon here. And this is a really nice flyer. Well, we love our bugs, don't we? And if you're new to bugs, they are really nice. There's a huge following for them. That's into wind. That's wind assisted. Wow, there's certainly a bit of a difference there. And up at the height is how obviously there will be as well. I go between liking black or white quads, but actually when you're against landscape like this, the white is so much better. And you can see just the way it's leaning there, trying to actually struggle against the wind. I'll show you how strong the wind is. Just pop it up to about there. And the video is going to be lousy on this with wind, because it will be pulsing it up and down all the time. I'm going to turn the GPS off, and then you'll see the wind will catch it. It takes a little while, but then it'll really start to get a bit of a shift on. So it'll make nice smooth video now, to be honest, because it's just drifting with the wind. And you can still fly normally. The only thing is you don't get the benefit of the GPS. So if I let go, it will keep drifting forwards. So I'll just show you that again. So going backwards, let go, and it'll just keep drifting. I'll pop the GPS on. Let's bring it back. And I haven't noticed a big difference in speed with this. Normally there is actually. I'm going to pop the GPS on, and I'll do that same thing again. So go forwards. I'll just bring it back and then show you when I let go what happens. So I'm going to let go now. There we go. And it's sort of almost put sort of air brakes on to stop. I'll show you that again. Let's get it a bit closer as well. So do that again, and then let go. It just drifts, and it will keep drifting as well. So that's the difference of GPS on and off. The GPS back on, and like I say, not really a lot of difference in the speed or anything. You've got headless mode on this one. So that was the orientation I started it in and bound it to. So that will be forward to it. Well, it should be. Let's see, shall we? I'm going to flick headless on, and then if we go forward, yeah, that's forward. this is backwards. Now that's the same as if I didn't have headless on, so that's still forward and backwards. But what headless does is when you're in headless mode, if I turn the quad round now, so it's basically facing off that way, forward, whoops, like I say, it really is struggling against this wind. There we go. Forward is still that way, which is actually to the quad's left, as you'll see on the video. But that's you know, that is headless mode for you. So you can bring it and spin it as well, and it will just travel in one direction. The confusing thing with headless mode is now do that. Now if I press forward, forward is now behind me. That's because the setup was forward is that way, so it always is that way as far as the quad's concerned. So this is always right and that's always left. Doesn't matter on my orientation. So if you don't stay in the orientation that headless mode was set up in, it gets really confusing. So if I press this left now, it would just literally go past my shoulder. Yeah, so you can see it's one of the sort of disadvantages of going behind you, or if you change position with headless mode. If not, some people like headless mode because you can sort of keep the camera at a bit of an angle and then, you know, pan through at a bit of an angle. To be honest, I've never used it, even on my big camera birds that, you know, I really want to use it on. I've never really bothered. It's not something I'm particularly, yeah, I was going to say I'm not particularly good at it. I don't think I am, because I never ever actually play with it, to be honest. But there we go, I suppose that's a sort of panning shot, if you like. I think I could do just as well without headless, to be honest. But just me. There you go. You can see the angle of the quad now. You can see what it's fighting against with the wind there. It's got no pitch or anything on it. And you can see how much it's actually tilting forward rather than sitting. And it's sitting in one position, but it's tilting forward. So as the wind comes, the quad will tilt up and down. There you go. And then, as I say, the altimeter will hold. If this was a still, calm day, that would be sitting rock solid. They really do sit well, the Bugs. Okay, we've got the auto takeoff, auto land. That should be, I picked a great location to auto takeoff, auto land, but I'll sort of give you the idea of it. So, just pop that up a bit. I press the land button, it comes in, it's going to start descending. I'm doing nothing here. I can move it around until I give it some throttle. If not, it will come all the way down. It will literally just plough into the heather. So, and the same with auto takeoff, it just pumps up sort of thing. What I would do in this situation, I would just bring it in, auto land, and then I'll just hand catch. I don't recommend you do this if you're new to flying, because brushless motors are very unforgiving. And it takes a few seconds for it to stop, because as far as it was concerned, it was still slightly going down where my hand was moving. So I'll show you the auto takeoff, or you can do a manual takeoff as well. I can't remember what I did at the beginning now. So manual takeoff is just give it some throttle, and it will just pump up in the air. Auto takeoff, you press that and it will go up. It only goes up about a metre or so, and then it's cool now. And it soon stabilises. There we go. Okay, you got a return to home on this one because of the GPS and everything. Let's just pop it right over there. I'll turn it around and face it towards me. And then we've got the home button here. There we go. And that's, in a few seconds it will pump up. Oops, I turned it off. There we go. It's ascending, and as you can see, and then this one doesn't change orientation. A lot of quads I've had with return to homes, with the cameras on, they'll spin round and face away or face towards you. So this one doesn't. It'll come overhead, and it'll sit there for a little while. I think it just enjoys the view of Scotland, to be perfectly honest. There's no reason for it to sit above, because you've just seen it fly home. Now I use return to home to get it so I can see the quad again, and then I can go off flying. That's the way I view it. A lot of people want it to land back on there where it took off. I'm really not bothered, to be honest. And the way to cancel it is give it throttle, or just press this thing here. And it's going to be, that's about a metre out, metre and a half, something like that. There we go. So press the button, then it just kills it straight away. I don't know what it would do if it was. I've never tried this. I'm going to try pressing that again, and it's actually at home. See what happens. It ascends. It goes, oh, I've got to go home. So I must go up to however high it goes. Well, it's 12, 13 metres, 14 metres. And now I'm going to come back home again. But it was already home, so it's not that intelligent none of them are, to be honest. That's just how they work, sort of thing. So I think we can. Oh, sorry. The only way you can cancel that is by pressing the return tab. And here it comes back down again. It's going to be closer this time, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, what, 2 bites of the cherry, I think. Wow, that is close. I don't usually bother, like I say, how accurate it is, but that is pretty close. Yeah, is that? Yeah. Well, I was stood here when it took off, so it was pretty good. I give it a little pat on the head. Oh, bless you. Good little thing. There we go. Okay. Let's do a still. Now, obviously, I've got no. We haven't got Wi-Fi on this or anything else, so I can see it from the TV. What I'm going to do is just stop the video, wait for a couple of seconds, you get a double beep, and press the button, and you get a quick photo up, camera icon there. So there we go. So it takes a second to do. I'm going to try and see what I can do a surround one, because they're always quite good fun. We'll try it with GPS first of all. So all your posh friends with their posh DJIs and everything else were going, oh yeah, I can go round and I can do, you know, I can surround me and everything else. You can do it with virtually anything. And it's actually, I think, a lot more fun if you do it actually manually. There we go. It's actually coping quite well, because sometimes they don't do so well. There we go. Yeah, that wind's really sort of catching it, and also the instructions I'm giving it are not the best. That's quite a fast surround, isn't it? There we go. Why don't we bring it in tight and do it? But this is a great skill to learn. This improves your flying knowing. Good stuff. Okay, let's pop the GPS off. Let's try that without GPS, shall we? And you'll see the wind effect then. I'm going to turn it round. And now we're just going to go the same again. Now, already I'm having to alter the controls drastically. And I'll try and keep this a bit slower. Of course, as it comes into wind, now it's going to start to get a real move on. Yeah, it's definitely not as easy without the GPS on. Yeah, it goes into wind. I'm using the same amount of stick control, and it's really difficult. And then when I come around here, you'll really get a move on. There we go. So you're really using all your skills with doing a surround one. It's quite good fun. There we go. Why not get giddy and falling over? Ah, at least it's soft heather. That's lovely. These are great flyers, these bugs. Like I say, if you're new to the bug scene, then there's lots of videos on the channel. There's loads around, loads of guys love them as much as I do. Nice stuff. And this GPS is really good. It's nice. It doesn't actually alter the speed, which a lot of them do. There we go. So that means the battery's getting low. That beep, beep, beep. There we go. So it will start to get a little bit. It's just going to keep doing that. You can't stop that, which I think is pretty good. And if I flew it too far away, I get a little bit anxious and start to come home, sort of thing. But I've done the range test, so you can see that. So you should really start thinking of bringing it back in, but this has a fail-safe mode. The battery can get even lower, and we're down to 2 bars on the battery. It can get even lower than that, and we could come when it starts to get near 1 bar. Sorry, it will then actually return to home anyway. So we've got no problem with that. And we get flashing LEDs as well. And the LEDs, have you noticed, have changed colour. We've now got all red, and the back ones are flashing red to warn us that the battery's low. Okay, so this is how your bugs will actually come to you. It is fully assembled, which I think is really nice. It comes in this great box with a carry handle and everything, and everything's in there for you that you could possibly need. I like quads that come fully assembled and fit in the box it came in, because it means you can just bung all this stuff back in and transport it wherever you like, either in a rucksack, or you could, you know, just carry it or stick it in your car or whatever, and then you can get everything out. You don't have to assemble props and everything, so it's really good, I think. It also comes with a really good quick start guide, so if you want to have a quick flick through that, it would get you started, no problem at all. If you're an experienced pilot, it's probably all you'd need, to be honest. If you're new to it, or even an experienced pilot, their manuals, MJX RC manuals, are brilliant. They're really well done, nice and clear graphics throughout, and the text is all clear. It's all in one language. I'm always impressed with their manuals, and I hope they carry that on. Talking about props and things, they're quite flexible, and it's a well balanced, good quad for what it is. I think it's absolutely excellent. You've got 4 spare propellers. You get 4 spare little rubber washers that go under the prop nuts here, and I explain in the other videos how we do the props and everything. Anything I haven't covered in this one, and there is loads on the Bugs 2 that this does. For example, it's got the safety feature. If it's low on battery, it won't fly too far away. If it's starting to run really low on battery, it will fly back home and just land. There's stuff like that. It's really good. All covered in the other videos. There's so much to cover on the Bugs range. I've spread it over several videos, so have a look around the channel. I put a load of links down in the description for you, obviously. The camera on it was really good, I think, for what it is. Again, at the level it's at, I think the 1080p camera is pretty good. You get a micro SD card, and it's an 8GB, so you get loads and loads of storage on there. And you also got a USB to micro SD adapter there, so you can plug that into your computer, and then you can download your video and your images. Bear in mind, the image quality of a single image is exactly the same as a still from your video, so I don't bother with taking stills. I just shoot all video and then just take a single frame out of it if you wanted to. That's the way I do it anyway. You got a prop removal tool, just goes on the prop nuts and then you turn it round. And just bear in mind, these props without the little dimple in go to undo them, you go anti-clockwise, so that's just a normal thread. If they've got a dimple in, then they go the other way, so you have to screw them the other way to undo them. So you literally turn it clockwise to undo them. They're a left-handed thread. This is so that it locks the actual propellers on because of the rotation of those. Also bear in mind what way the propellers go, but all the arms are marked up and all the props are marked up, so you really can't go far wrong. Because you're now in the Bugs Club, you get the Bugs Club stickers, so wow, I mean, it's worth all the money just for the stickers, to be honest, to join the club. You get a little Phillips screwdriver as well, and you can literally strip this whole thing down with this Phillips screwdriver. There's, you know, probably 18, 24 screws on the back here that you could strip it all down with. I've had these for ages, and I've had the original Bugs 3 for yonks. I've never had to strip mine down. They're great, robust little quads. They're really nice, superb, I think, as you probably guessed by the review. The battery that comes with it, 1800 milliamp hour. It's a 2-cell, and it charges through the balanced charger port. You plug it into here, and this will charge a 2 or 3 cell actually. The actual charger they give you, it's all Bugs marked up again. It charges through a USB. Whoa, that's not a good way to charge a large battery. So it can't put a lot of power through, so it will take you about 3 to 4 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours to charge it, which is like a long time when you're waiting to get out and fly. So I'll put a link down in the description to a video I did on a very economic way of charging this, batteries like this. We'll probably do it in about an hour, hour and a half, something like that, so much better to do.
Flight times on it were absolutely superb. You can get up to 20 minutes I've had, and actually just over if you run it right out, but you start to get a warning when it's about half down on the battery. Well, I would say about 3/4 down, but it's half on the actual battery LEDs on here, about 15 minutes, so you should really start bringing it back in then. But I'd like to do full review, so I run the battery down, see how I get on with it. Transmitter is superb on the Bugs. Yes, it's a toy grade transmitter. Yes, there's better transmitters out there. Not for the all-in price, I don't think. I think that is absolutely superb. I've had over 1,000 meters on it in real life environments, not in a test area where there's no trees or anything around. I flew it over trees and everything. Way over 1,000 meters, and the range is absolutely superb. The return to home works well. The camera works well. All the functions are nice and simple, clearly marked up. And another thing that works extremely well is the GPS. That works absolutely superb on it, and the fact you can turn it off is a real dream for me, because I'd really like to fly non-GPS sometimes. It just gives you a smoother flight and you feel a bit more in control. You can't turn the altitude hold off, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is, so that's one minor thing, I think. And you may have noticed that the horizon was, tilted all the time I was virtually flying this one, but it was a really windy day, and it's fighting against the wind all the time, so this is going to tilt the horizon. This is why on the bigger quads and everything, you have a gimbal on board which keeps the camera level. If I fly this on a calm day, which I've done with the other reviews and other videos, you'll see the horizon's pretty level and you're not rolling it so hard as I needed to do with flying this. So, all in all, another superb product from MJX RC. I really do like their products, and I hope they'll never let us down with that. So happy flying, and links down in the description for you for the other Bugs videos.